The Mitre Saw, also referred to as a drop saw or a droppie, is one of the most valued tools in a builder's kit. It helps you make a straight cut or precise angled cuts over and over. There are three types of mitre saw: compound mitre saws, dual bevel mitre saws, and sliding mitre saws. A compound mitre saw is a fixed position saw with a blade that pivots only one way for angled cuts. This is an economical choice for an occasional use. A dual bevel mitre saw pivots both ways for angle cuts, so it's a bit more versatile and can save you time because you don't have to keep turning over or reversing your timber. And with a sliding mitre saw, the sliding feature lets you move the saw back and forth, allowing you to make longer cuts. This feature is available in both compound and dual bevel saws. The next thing you'll need to think about is what size you'd like. There are three commonly available sizes, and the size relates to how big the blade is. The depth of the cut will vary from model to model. So when selecting a blade, there are different blades to cut different materials. The more teeth, the finer the cut. Ensure your blade size matches your saw. The three most common saw sizes are the 190, the 254, and the 305mm. Then you'll need to decide if you're after a battery-powered or a corded model. If you won't have a power source on site, battery models are the way to go. There are two numbers to check when choosing. Voltage relates to how powerful the battery is. The higher the number, the more powerful. Amperage relates to how long the battery will last. The higher this number, the longer it will last. 18-volt batteries are the most common, and if you have other tools from the same brand, the batteries are interchangeable. You can also get multi-volt batteries. These batteries automatically change their voltage based on the tool they're fitted to and what power that tool needs. Corded models are also a great option. Mitre saws are a tool that tend to stay in one place, so a plug-in model is still convenient and very practical. It'll keep going all day. And these days you can even get some saws which are both battery and corded. You then want to have a look at all the different features available on the tool. As usual, the more features, the more you can expect to pay. So make sure you choose a tool that's got features that are important to you. The laser guide projects a sharp line onto the surface you're cutting, helping you make accurate cuts. Timber lock holds the timber in place. Side fences are extra support for the timber. Then you've got your trigger. Safety guards, rail, where the blade slides back and forth, and locks. There are a couple of handy accessories too. A dust extractor is handy to have as it'll collect all the dust from your cuts, keeping the air and worksite clean. A saw stand is also good to have. It keeps the saw steady and secure and supports the timber, all of which help your cuts become as accurate as possible. It also raises the saw to a good working height, which is great for safety. The Mitre Saw can be used for a number of different tasks, from cutting framing timber to building decks, fences, or landscaping, and loads more. Here are some common cuts you can make. Cutting timber at an angle of between 90 to 60 degrees, bevel cuts, mitre cuts, compound cuts where the blade and base are at an angle, rebaiting, and fine cutting for detailed work. Now, to use a saw, place your timber and secure it. When sliding mitre saws, ensure to fully extend the saw all the way out and drop it down to make your cut. If cutting larger timbers like sleepers, then sometimes it's less load on the motor to make a couple of passes over the timber. Ensure that the timber is hard against the back fence and use the timber lock. If cutting long lengths of timber, make sure it's well supported. A sharp blade is also really important. So if you notice that your cut's becoming more ragged or chipping, or the saw is burning the timber or it's getting harder to cut, that means you'll probably need a new blade. Ear and eye protection are a must. Use the dust extractor if you have one. You'll be making a lot of sawdust. If you're using a corded model, use an RCD and make sure your extension cord is tested and tagged. You want to give the saw a good clean after each use to look after it, but make sure you unplug it or take the battery out before you do. And the same goes when you change the blade. Make sure you unplug the saw or remove the battery. Don't forget to check the manufacturer's instructions, as every saw is different. Now you know how to use it and what to look for in a Mitre Saw, head into store and make your choice. Don't forget to subscribe to the Mitre 10 YouTube channel for more handy content, or click here to watch more now.